Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we discuss about the basic of organometallic chemistry, the 18 electron rule. And this chapter is very important for GATE as well as CSIR and NET aspirant. If we consider GATE examination, previous 10 years, 2010 to 2020, this chapter provides lot of marks. Especially 2013, I read circled, 2013 year, IIT Bombay arranged the GATE examination, and that year this chapter provide 9 marks, which was the most number provided by a single chapter from inorganic chemistry. Interestingly, 2021 IIT Bombay again arranged this examination, and this chapter will be very important this year. So before going to 18 electron rule, just recapitulate the thing what we need here. The Werner theory or Werner theory, this is the also called Werner complexes. According to ligand strength, you have to know the soft versus hard ligand behavior, then the crystal field theory, and its advanced model is the ligand field theory. I explain all the 18 electron rule behavior based on the ligand field theory, and then the Pauli electron utility principle. When a ligand donate electron to the metal for bond formation, first it's for sigma bond, then the metal get electron in rich. If the ligand have vacant suitable orbital to accommodate the electron, then metal electron density back bonding way donate to ligand, then form the pi back bonding or simply back bonding. Actually, pi back bonding nothing but the result of electron utility. Then type of ligands, very important here. Also last is the trans effect. Trans effect here important because to understand the organometallic reaction mechanism. Now go to the 18 electron rule. 18 electron rule nothing but the analogous to octet rule as like main group chemistry. Instead of octet for main group, the transition group chemistry, their valence electron should be 18. Then this complex provides sufficient stability. To calculate the 18 electron for a metal complexes, you need to count the electron for metal as well as the ligand. Metal electron counting is very easy, but problem is to counting the ligand electron. Here a chart for common ligand, and here give two method for electron counting, method A and method B. Method A is ionic method and method B is called the covalent method for electron counting of the ligand. Just take example, hydride H minus. If it donate 2 electron to a metal, then metal get +1 oxidation state. This is called ionic method for electron counting. But if you consider hydrogen as neutral, it contribute 1 electron to the metal, and metal considered as 0 oxidation state. And the second is the covalent method for electron counting. And some of the ligand I show here. Among the all ligand, I just want to highlight two type of ligand. One is the cyclic and linear pi system. Pi system ligand, linear and cyclic cases. For linear case, first we take example of allyl anion. Its resonating form is this, and its hybrid form where its pi electron cloud distributed all over the 3 carbon. In this molecule, if we consider bonding with the metal, then two ways it can bond with the metal. First, connect with the 1 carbon, or the hybrid structure also form the bond with the metal. For a hybrid case, hybrid structure of the allyl, when it bond with the metal, it contribute 3 its carbon for bonding to the metal. So first cases, it considered as 2 electron donor when it is bonded to metal 1 carbon center, and this type of complex is called eta 1. And second cases, when the hybrid structure contribute bonding to the metal, there 3 carbon is participate, then this type of complex is called eta 3, and their electron contribution is 4. This electron counting is based on the ionic model electron counting. Similarly, we can explain the behavior of the cyclopentadienyl ligand, it can also form 3 type of eta type bonding, eta 1, eta 3 and eta 5, and eta 1 complex contribute 2 electron, eta 3 complex 4 electron, and eta 5 complex contribute 6 electron to the metal valence shell. Then second ligand is nitrosyl ligand. This is a very important ligand in organometallic chemistry, and its behavior is very similar with carbonyl, that is carbon monoxide ligand, and it's 2 type of bonding known, one linear, another is bent mode of bonding with metal complexes. For linear mode we consider NO plus, and bent mode of bonding we consider NO minus. Both the cases, according to ionic electron counting method, 2 electron donate to the metal complexes, but the charge is different. And NO plus here considered because it similar with carbonyl ligand, carbon monoxide ligand, total electron. Actually NO plus is isoelectronic with carbon monoxide, and both of the 2 ligand form the complex with the metal in linear fashion, and there is a similarity there. Now take a look on the 18 electron rule and its violation. If the ligand for octahedral complexes is sigma donor and pi acceptor, sigma donor and pi acceptor, then only the 18 electron rule satisfied most of the cases. But if the ligand is pure sigma donor, just like ethylene diamine, then 18 electron rules become violated. If you take example zinc tris ethylene diamine, then the total electron in this complex 22, but rather this complex is stable. Another is for sigma donor as well as the pi donor case, like fluoride ligand, example titanium hexafluoride, the complex electron is 12 electron, although this is a stable complexes. This is all violate the 18 electron rule. Another case is square planar complexes. Most of the square planar complexes show the stability when they are 16 electron. Another thing is D8 system, D8 system of metal show the square planar complexes. So how this thing you will explain? So how will you explain this thing? First explain the octahedral cases when ligand sigma donor plus pi acceptor. Example L equals to carbon monoxide ligand. If we draw the rough molecular orbital from ligand orbital theory, this is the 5d orbital of the metal, and this 6 sigma LGO ligand group orbital, and since it is a donor orbital, all orbital are filled with electron. Among the 5d orbital, EG set orbital can form sigma bonding. You know why? Because head-on overlap only possible for EG set orbital, because this orbital lobe is along the axis. So EG orbital become anti-bonding, and here 6 bonding sigma orbital, and all are filled up. But there is a non-bonding T2G set also here. T2G set only participate in pi bonding, so either pi donor or pi acceptor case, this will participate in bonding. So for pi acceptor case, the pi acceptor, actually the ligand, suitable pi accepting ligand, it since it is a vacant, so it resides very high in energy. This is the 6th set of pi LGO. This is pi LGO ligand orbital which form the pi bonding with the metal. Here is the T2G set. If it is non-bonding, then it must be here. Since it is ligand has the suitable vacant pi orbital, it form bonding with this, and T2G set energy become lower. This is T2G set, and we erase the non-bonding case. This is the molecular orbital rough diagram actually, and if we fill up the T2 set orbital and calculate the whole electron in this 2 orbital bonding case, you get the 18 electron. But if you take electron from these complexes, you have to take it from the T2G set, which is bonding in bonding molecular orbital, and complex become unstable. Again, if you put an electron into this complex, you have to put it Eg star, which is anti-bonding. So again the complex become unstable. That's why ML6 system, when L is sigma donor as well as pi acceptor ligand, 18 electron rule is the most suitable case for showing a stability. Now for the second case, ML6 octagonal case, when L sigma donor, example zinc complex, tris triethylamine. Now for second case, ML6 when ligand is sigma donor, example zinc ethylene diamine complex. Here it is 22 electron system. If we draw its molecular orbital, this is your 5d orbital of the metal, this is your 6 sigma LGO. When it form complexes with metal, this is your sigma molecular orbital, all are fielded. This is your 6 sigma LGO. Here, since there is no pi bonding, that's why T2G set become non-bonded. And Eg star is anti-bonding character, but ethylene diamine is not good sigma donor as carbonyl, so Eg star not that sufficiently anti-bonding in character, so it can accommodate the electron. When T2G set occupy the electron, this complex is 80 electron. Still the Eg star orbital is not sufficiently anti-bonding, so it can also accommodate the electron, and this electron system become 22, and this is a good stable complexes. And again is the when ligand is sigma donor as well as pi donor, then Eg star as well as T2G star become very much antibonding in character. That's why only ligand fill up, only electron fill up which show the stability is the sigma molecular orbital is filled with electron. Now the case when ligand considered as sigma donor as well as pi donor, then Eg star and T2G star become sufficiently antibonding in character. So stability of the complexes only came from the fill up of the bonding sigma molecular orbital, and there is 6 sigma molecular orbital which is bonding, and 6 sigma molecular orbital provide 12 electron. That's why titanium hexafluoride, its total valence electron is 12, and it show the stability. Its total valence electron is 12, and it show the stability. Now for square planar case, ML4 complexes, why it's 16 electron instead of 18 electron. Here its molecular orbital diagram, here is the 5d orbital of the metal, and the 4 ligand. First we consider the sigma ligand. This is the 4 sigma ligand. This is the 4 sigma ligand. If it form complexes with the metal d orbital, it will form 4 sigma bond here, and this 4 become occupied. One interesting thing here is, among these 4 sigma molecular orbital, one orbital is dx square minus y square. If we draw the picture of this sigma orbital, this is metal. If this is x-axis, if this is y-axis, then this is the x square minus y square atomic orbital of the metal. and then if this is the ligand from sigma bond to the metal, then dx square minus y square orbital head-on overlap done by the all four lobe of dx square minus y square orbital. So this orbital interaction is very much high. So the sigma bond of dx square minus y square interaction is so high that among these four sigma orbital, one is very low in energy and its corresponding antibonding is very high in energy. So it is sigma star of dx square minus y square, and this is, just erase the one of the sigma bonding, and draw its below. This is sigma dx square y square orbital. So then you fill up the electron. You have T2g orbital. You have T2g case, and you fill up the T2g orbital. Also there is another orbital. So their non-bonding region, you got four orbital, non-bonding or slightly anti-bonding character there, and you got purely sigma bonding, four bonding orbital below. So if this 8 orbital is become filled, it give you 16 electron, but to fulfill your 18 electron, you must fulfill the sigma star orbital of dx square minus y square. But this antibonding ligand is so high in energy, its electron fill up become very much destabilization in the complexes. So square planars complexes show stability at 16 electron valence shell configuration. So this is the concept behind why the square planar complexes show. Now take a look some problem which came in GATE and CSIR NET examination. First example, choose the isoelectronic pair among the following. First is vanadium complex, second copper complex, third cobalt, then iridium. So vanadium complex electron counting is, vanadium provide 5 electron. First vanadium is zero oxidation state here. So vanadium provide 5 electron, and carbonyl provide 6 cross 2. Since each carbonyl contribute 2 electrons, so 12 electrons by the 6 carbonyl. Then this is 17 electron species. For copper complex, in this copper complex, copper is in +1 oxidation state. That means copper provide 10 electron. Eta 5 cyclopentadienyl ligand provides 6 electron. Here is one carbonyl ligand, that is 2 electron. It is 18 electron. Now for cobalt tetracarbonyl case, here is cobalt is 0 oxidation state. So cobalt provide 9 electron, and 4 carbonyl provide 4 cross 2, that is 17 electron. For iridium complexes, iridium is in +1 oxidation state because of chloride ligand. So iridium +1 oxidation state here. If you count its electron, iridium provide 8 electron, then chloride provide 2 electron, carbonyl provide also 2 electron. There is 2 phosphine ligand, triphenyl phosphine. One provide 2 electrons, so 2 triphenyl phosphine provide 2 cross 2, that's 4 electron, and total electron is 16. So among these 4 complexes, vanadium complex is 70 electron and cobalt is 70 electron. That is complex A and complex C is isoelectronic. So answer is 2. That is A and C. Very easy. Second question. Now another question came in NET CSIR June 2017. Reaction of manganese complex react with allyl chloride gives A along with sodium chloride. Photolysis of compound A gives compound B together with elimination of carbon monoxide. The correct structural formulation of compound A and B respectively. So in this problem, you can just calculate the total electron of the complexes. Which complex show the 18 electron rule, which is stable, and that compound would be the product of your reaction. So if you calculate the total electron of the complexes, actually valence electron of the complexes, first take a look of the for number 1 case where compound A is total valence electron is manganese, here is +1 oxidation state because of allyl anion, and manganese provide 6 electron, manganese provides 6 electron, 5 carbonyl provide 5 plus 2 electron, and 1 allyl provide 2 electron. That is, this is 18 electrons. So here compound A is 18 electron species, so it is stable. Compound B, and manganese also +1 oxidation state because of the allyl ligand. Although this ligand is eta 3 complex, manganese provides 6 electron, 4 carbonyl provide 4 plus 2. Allyl eta 3 complex provide 4 electron, that is 18 electron. So both the complexes are 18. That is, this number 1 is the answer of this question. If you can calculate the rest of the complexes total valence electron, but there one of the complexes not show the 18 electron rule. So in this picture, the number 1 is the answer of this question. This next question, identify the species which follow the 18 electron rule. Just you calculate thoroughly the valence electron of the following complexes. First, copper, it is +1 oxidation state. Manganese +1 oxidation state. Chromium also here +1, and vanadium also +1 oxidation state. All the metal here is +1 oxidation state because of cyclopentadienyl anion. This is the ligand. Because of its minus charge, the metal become +1 oxidation state. Now calculate the electron for copper complexes. Copper +1, so copper +1 provide, Cu plus provide 10 electron and 6 electron from cyclopentadienyl ligand, and carbonyl provide 2 electron, so it is 18 electron. Next is manganese complexes. Manganese +1 oxidation state. Manganese provide 6 electron, 6 from cyclopentadienyl ligand and 2 from each carbonyl. Here is 2 carbonyl present, so 2 cross 2, that is 16 electron. For chromium plus oxidation state, here chromium 5 electron provide, cyclopentadienyl provide 6 electron, 3 carbonyl provide 3 cross 2 electron, that is 6. So total electron is 18. Sorry, total electron is 5, 11, 6, 17. Now for vanadium +1 oxidation state provide 4 electron, 6 from cyclopentadienyl ligand, and 4 carbonyl provide 4 cross 2, that is 18 electrons. So complex 1 and complex 4, copper and vanadium complex, show the 18 electron rule. 18 electron rule. Next question, heating the sample, a binuclear molybdenum complex is there. It's if you heated this complex, result formation of, there also a binuclear molybdenum complex there, but the carbonyl number here is changing. The question is count the metal bonding, actually molybdenum bonding for each cases. So it is very simple problem from 18 electron rule to just count the number of metal bond. This type of problem solved by simple way. Just you consider there are x number of metal bonding, and each metal bond provide 2 electron. So in this complex, because of metal bonding, get number of total electron is x cross 2. Then there is 2 eta 5 cyclopentadienyl ligand, so there is 2 ligands, so that is 6 cross 2. There is 2 molybdenum metal, so molybdenum here is +1 oxidation state. That means it is provide 5 electron cross 2. Then here is present 6 carbon monoxide, 6 cross 2. Since it is a binuclear complex, so it must satisfy the 36, 18 cross 2, that is 36 electron. If you calculate, then x will be your 1. And second case is also x cross 2, all are the same, only difference is there is 4 carbonyl ligand is present, then x equal to 3. Here give you a reaction of molybdenum. This is a very interesting reaction. I tell you later why. Just first solve the problem. Here they want to calculate the metal-metal bond. Actually here is bond, actually nothing but the actually how much metal-metal bond is present in reaction and product. First cases, if you consider x number of metal-metal bond is present, then each metal-metal bond provide 2 electron, then total electron from metal-metal bond is x cross 2, then rest of the ligand and metal, how much electron they contribute. For cyclopentadienyl ligand, it provides 6 electron each, and since it is a binuclear complex, here is because of this 2, it is into 2, plus here molybdenum in +1 oxidation state because of cyclopentadienyl ligand, so it contribute 5 electron cross 2 because of its binuclear nature. Then here 6 carbonyl ligand is present, 1 carbonyl contribute 2 electrons, so 6 cross 2, this must be equal to 18 cross 2 because here 2 metal is present, so here the total electron should be 36, 18 per each. Now if you calculate the x will be equal to 1. Now for the product molybdenum complex, all will be the same. Only difference here is here previous cases 6 carbon monoxide ligand was there, but in the product there is only 4 remain, that is this is the case now. And if you calculate the x, then you get 3. So in this case the answer is 3. First number of metal-metal bond is 1, then it will be 3. And now I tell you the interest bonding. Now tell you the interesting fact of this reaction. Here is the reaction, this is the reactant, and this is the product. When you heat this complex, it liberates the carbon monoxide and give the molybdenum or triple bonded complex. Here each molybdenum contains 2 carbonyl ligand, but here the carbonyl ligand is not completely linear, it is a partial linear. A very interesting example where carbonyl show a partial linearity, and its stretching frequency of carbonyl ligand here in between linear and bent form of carbonyl mode of attachment with metal. So it is a very interesting example. The next problem is number 5. Just calculate the valence electron in the tungsten complexes. Tungsten here is +2 oxidation state because of 2 cyclopentadienyl ligand is present. One is eta 3, one is eta 5. So tungsten provide 4 electron, eta 3 complex provide 4 electron, eta 5 complexes provide 6 electron, and carbonyl 2 is 2 carbonyl ligand is present, so 2 cross 2 equals to 18. Provide 4 electron, eta 3 complex provide 4 electron, eta 5 complexes provide 6 electron, and carbonyl 2 is 2 carbonyl ligand is present, so 2 cross 2 equals to 18. In this problem they ask you to calculate the hapticity of the cyclopentadienyl ligand. So whatever the hapticity of the cyclopentadienyl ligand, total complex valence electron should be 18, then it shows a sufficient stability. So how you approach this question? This is the complex, because whatever the hapticity of the cyclopentadienyl ligand, it always contain a minus charge, so tungsten here is +2 oxidation state. So tungsten provide 4 electron, and here 2 carbonyl ligand is present, so 2 cross 2, so here is your 8 electron. So 18 minus 8, there is 10 electron left. You need 10 electron to satisfy the 18 electron rule. So in these 4 cases, when you got 10 electron from the total hapticity counting of cyclopentadienyl ligand, that will be your answer. First A case, eta 1 and eta 3. Eta 1 provide you 2 electron, eta 3 provide you 4 electron, that is 6. This is not the answer. B case, eta 1 provide you 2 electron, eta 5 provide you 6 electron, total 8. Also not 10 electron. Then case C, eta 3 provide you 4 electron, eta 5 provide you 6 electron, case C provide you the 10 electron, then this complex will become 18. So the answer is C. Very simple. And the last problem is very interesting, and it's a bridging complex problem. Here is a binuclear bridging complex. Before approach this problem, first you need to know the bridging behavior of the ligand. When a ligand behave as a bridging ligand, it contribute actually it share its electron equally between two metal center. So this type of complex, one trick you need to know, that is whatever the ligand for this bridging complexes, the ligand, bridging ligand especially, total charge never be odd. Actually what will happen if the charge become odd, like case 1D and case B. If you take this as example, case B total charge -3 and case D -1, and when it form a complexes with the metal, its charge become equally distributed among two ruthenium. So ruthenium for case B, each ruthenium get 1.5, and for case D, each ruthenium get 0.5, 0.5. So its oxidation state become non-stoichiometric in fraction. So it's never show a ground figure 18 electron rule. That's why this is a very important trick, or this only applicable for the binuclear complexes. And then you eliminate these two, B and D. Now for A and C, you simply calculate the electron count. Now electron counting for case A, when hydride and nitrosyl act as bridging ligand. Each of the ruthenium metal is +2 oxidation state. For each ruthenium metal center, cyclopentadienyl ligand provides 6 electron. One carbonyl provides 2 electron. Ruthenium here is +2 oxidation state, so it provides 6 electron. Since here one metal-metal bond is present, one metal-metal bond give 2 electron and it share between two metal centers, so one metal get 1 electron. And from bridging ligand, hydride and nitrosyl both give 2 electron each, so it also is distributed among two metal center. So hydride give 1 electron to one ruthenium, and nitrosyl also share 1 electron to each ruthenium. So total valence electron for per ruthenium is 17. So it is not a 18 electron species, so it is unstable. So it is not satisfy the coefficient requirement. Then for case C, here is a carbene ligand is present. Now consider the case 3, where bridging ligand consider one carbene, another is carbonyl. Carbene here is a 4 electron donor and carbonyl is 2 electron donor. So this electron become distributed between the two ruthenium center. So if you calculate here the total valence electron per ruthenium center, here ruthenium also +2 oxidation state. So ruthenium +2 oxidation state provide 6 electron. 6 electron from cyclopentadienyl ligand. Carbonyl terminal ligand provide 2 electron. Here metal-metal bond provide 1 electron per ruthenium. Now for bridging case, 4 electron from carbene, each ruthenium get 2 electron, and for carbonyl ligand 1 electron, then the total electron is 18. This is follow the 18 electron rule. So this is a stable complexes, and so the answer must be C. So this is some previous year question of GATE and CSIR NET. My recommendation is 18 electron rule. The electron counting thing is very much saturated. So I think upcoming year maybe question asked from the concept behind 18 electron rule, like I taught you that the molecular orbital diagram or the violation of 18 electron rule, which is the advanced of the 18 electron rule, and this concept become very important upcoming year GATE or CSIR NET examination. So guys, this was it. If you think this is helpful to you, please share among with your friends and subscribe the channel, like the video, and stay motivated. Thank you.